Hey, first grade. We are going to do something today that we have not done for several weeks since before spring break, and that is practice our phonics. Now, we are going to do that with the letter cards today, and we're going to do a couple of the things that we used to do in the classroom to get our brains thinking about phonics before I teach you a new phonics rule today. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go through our cards and you will tell me the letter name and the sound that that letter or letters say. After we do that, I'm going to tell you a sound and you will use your finger just on a piece of furniture or on the carpet to write the letter or letters that make that sound, okay? I know you guys will be great at this. I will help you out this time. Are you ready? Okay. L says L. A says A and A. Great job if you remembered to open the gate. G says G. H says H. E says E and E. S says S. WH says W. V says V. Z says Z. T says T. G says G. M says M. N says N. F says F. I says I and I. LL says L. U says and U. SH says sh. CH says ch. K says k. D says d. O says and O. P says p. J says j. R says W says w. SS says s. C says k. FF says f. QU says qua. Z says z. X says x. Y says ya. TH says f and th. Remember, th like thumb and th that you can feel in your throat. Okay, good job. All right, I want to go through now and tell you some sounds and see if you can figure out how to write those. Remember, we don't have the screens at home, but that's totally okay because you can use your finger on a piece of furniture or on the carpet, however you want to do it. Are your fingers ready? Okay, good. Here we go. The first sound, Z. You know 2 ways to make the sound. I'll give you a second to write. You should be saying and writing Z says Z and Z says Z. If you did that, nice job. Let's do another one. The next sound is P. You would write and say P says P. And remember to underline after you've written it. The next sound, you know 2 ways to make. F. You should be saying and writing F says F and FF says F and underline. Good job. Let's keep going. The next sound is G. G says G. The next sound is T. T says T. The next sound is L. You know 2 ways to make this sound. L says L and L says L. Good job. We're going to do a few more. Sh. SH says sh. N. N says n. A says a. X. X says x. You know 2 ways for this next sound too. Qua. Q says qua and QU says qua. You know 2 ways for this sound, but I'm getting ready to teach you a third. The sound is k. C says k and K says k. And guess what? We're ready to learn our new phonics rule, okay? We're going to add a new card to our deck, and that's the CK card. So CK says k, just like C says k and K says k. So when C is by itself, it can say k. And when K is by itself, it can say k. And when they're together, they say, that's right, k. They say k, all right? Let's talk about a couple of things about the CK together, all right? I'm gonna move a couple of things out of the way here. Okay, so CK, I want you to look at these together. These are never ever going to be at the beginning of a word, okay? Usually CK is found at the end of a word. Sometimes it can be in the middle, but the words we're going to practice today have CK at the end, which is where it's found most often, okay? So like in the word black, okay? If we're going to pound and tap that word, we would do, remember, it's your hand that you don't write with, that you're pounding with. Ready? Black. 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 Okay? So what says the bull together? B-L, that's right. What says the A? And what's going to say the K sound at the end of this word? You got it. C-K. All right, so let's do a couple more practice words. How about, here's a good one. Smack. You ready to pound and tap? Use your hand that you're not writing with, your opposite hand. So if you hold a pencil in your right hand, you pound and tap with your left hand. If you hold your pencil in your left hand, then you would pound and tap with your right hand. Okay, here we go. Smack, 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 smack. What says sm together? SM. What says a together? A. And what's going to be that k at the end? That's right, CK, smack. All right, let's do one more together. How about sick? Here we go. Sick. S-I-K, sick. What's the first letter? S, good. The next letter, I, and the k at the end is going to be what? CK, good job. Okay, so CK, often found at the end of a word, can be in the middle. Today we're going to practice words that have CK at the end. All right, so on this activity for Seesaw today, it has some pictures and a space for you to write some missing letters. It has some of the letters for you. It's just missing the CK on all of the words. So that's pretty simple for you to go in and fill in the CK on each word. And then at the bottom, there are some lines for you to make your own sentence using one of the CK words on that paper. When you're writing your sentence, I want you to make sure that you have a capital at the beginning, that you have spaces between your words, and that you have punctuation at the end. You may choose to use your finger to write your sentence, or you may use a text box to fill it in. And it's okay if it doesn't match up exactly on those handwriting lines. I know some people like using their finger to write better, and some people it's too hard to read. I'm totally okay either way, you decide. When you get finished with all of that, I want you to use your voice in the microphone and record yourself reading each of the CK words and reading your sentence at the bottom. Then when you're finished with that, you'll push the green check mark and turn it in to your teachers for us to look at. Now, I did assign one more activity that I would like for you to do this week, and it's just a list of CK words and some sentences that have CK words in them. And what I would like for you to do on that activity is just record yourself reading the words. So that helps Mrs. Miles, Miss Cornelius, and I know that you understand what CK says together, and you can use that to help you decode some words and read them correctly in isolation or by itself, just a single word, or in a sentence, okay? So you kind of have two things to do for me today. Thumbs up, ready to go? All right, miss you guys so much. I hope you're doing great. We love seeing all the things that you're doing on Seesaw. Keep up the great work.